Blood on the grass, blood on my knees. Waited so long to find some peace. Call up the past, scream on the breeze.
Alrighty, welcome back. This is episode 8 of Building in Public, a weekly video diary in which I share the lessons in life and business I've encountered throughout the week in bite-sized forms. So hopefully you can take them and apply them to your own life or your clients, and we can all win. I'm a firm believer that a high tide raises all boats. So let's get into it. Alright, so a bit of an honest update. My energy levels are so low. The last week has been absolutely chaotic, like most weeks in Q4, and for the best reasons. I'm like full. My cup is full of everything I want, which is health, family, friends, and work is doing incredibly well. So I think it's really important though to have these check-ins and just remind yourself that even the best days will pass, and the worst days, they'll also pass. So not getting too caught up on exactly whatever trend you're in, and just kind of having the ability to look forward and understand that it's busy this time every year, and forecasting for that, and not allowing myself to get caught in any traps financially or professionally that would or could be avoided if I'd looked at past data. And like, meaning if I looked at this time last year on a calendar for revenue with the company, it's probably about the same, and the same as the year before. So it's not an extreme to be like the next few months will probably also be reflective of past data we have collected. So don't make stupid decisions, because most of the time after Q4 everything quiets down across the industry. So yeah, that's an honest check-in. I'm a little bit tired, but for all the right reasons. So let's go into active clients. We are currently still at 8 active clients. That last lead that we had fell through. They actually went another route, and to be completely honest, without sounding like tries to have his cake and eat it too, I think it was probably for the best, at least for right now in Q4, taking on a client that wasn't trying to perform in the ad space, which is predominantly what we do. I think would have been counterintuitive to the quality of work I could have delivered and the time frame. So I have a feeling we'll circle back with them in a few months, but for now, let's just get Q4 out of the way and start getting some more wins on the board as well. And speaking of wins, I think we should do an update on last week. So yeah, let's go through what I'm currently building. Again, if I keep looking at my laptop, I'm sorry, I just have like little notes, and I feel like it can just be more concise and less editing. So as mentioned last week, I am trying to, as of tomorrow, November the 18th, set a challenge, which is over the next 3 months, I will gain 10,000 followers across either across Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I'm sorry if I sound disgusted about Facebook. And look, the 3 biggest reasons for me actually trying to do this is, 1, I want to reach more clients and also connect with more creators in the space. I also want to establish myself as a person of influence in the space and be able to be seen as more of an industry leader. I do so much work, yet I don't communicate or show the processes enough, and that is a huge downfall. And 3, kind of like showcase to the Perth and West Australian community that the game isn't rigged. And I guess like what I mean by that is, like, I live in one of the most beautiful places on earth with the best beaches in the world. And I guess a fun fact that isn't a fun fact because I wrote it down to emphasize this point is 85% of Australians live within 50 kilometers of the beach. What does that have to do with like any of this being rigged? We create from where we are, physically, mentally, spiritually. And because of that, there is a huge wave, no pun intended, of creators in Australia itself whose content is based around travel and the beach, because why wouldn't you? It is the most accessible and, for most people, the most fun way to create outdoors. And thanks to Australia's weather, although over the last few years, anyway, we won't get down that route, it's the best place to create. So why is this a bad thing? The only reason I bring this up is because it's created more of a connection between content creators who are starting and the wider audience, because there is a larger mainstream appeal to the content that gets created in our country because of how beautiful it is. That it is not hard to create a beautiful viral moment on the coast in WA during summer with some of our pink skies. That is not that hard. So it is great for those wanting to enter and build an audience and go from there. But what happens when you don't fit into the category of lifestyle and travel creation? It can be discouraging. And to be fully honest, I've definitely felt that. That not that my work or myself has been limited, but that my creativity is sometimes overshadowed by the same beaches that I see on my For You page every other day. So my hope is that by committing to this and putting everything I know about marketing and ROI and results and all the fancy buzzwords into one strategy and plan to get myself some followers, that when it works, it'll prove to myself and my own limiting beliefs that the world and the algorithm is in fact not just favored towards the coast. Because as it stands right now, I have no data to support otherwise. Again, cannot discredit the incredible work and talent that these creators do, and obviously what our beautiful landscape allows them to do so. So it's a match made in heaven, and I just wish I enjoyed playing in that sandbox more. So anyway, as promised, moving forward, there will be also extra video every week, as mentioned. That one's already gone live, and we also have a counter on the followers. So this is where they are now, and next week they'll either be higher or they'll be lower. Let's see how that goes. Let's go into the learning. This is actually quite an interesting one. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And my why, which I very recently kind of 100% aligned with, is to create a lifestyle that allows me to spend time with those I love in abundance, free of constraints of work, time, money, all of those ones. So I have a very clear why now. And essentially it's like family above all else, which makes me sound like Dominic Toretto, but I promise it's deeper than that. And that is essentially the feeling that you hold on to, that why, that when work is getting hard, you use the why as the North Star, the extra 10% in the gas, the foot over the line. Your why can help get you to places that seem impossible. Because if your why is strong enough, it should get you there. But there is a catch that happens in the entrepreneurial space, and I wonder if you felt the same. You see, when you make the choice to go down and be an entrepreneur, you do make a choice, but you also make a sacrifice. The sacrifice is traditional wages, traditional relationships, traditional routine, and traditional social interactions. They all disappear, and you have to be comfortable betting with that money, with that value, and knowing that even though you may be chasing a dream that you love, you may never win, and you may lose all that. So it's important that your why be as strong, if not stronger, than your hardest day. The reason I go down this route is because I recently hit a wall where I was not enjoying what I was doing. And I had this inner monologue of, if you hate working for other people and you hate working for yourself, then maybe there's just a problem. Maybe you don't like working. Maybe, which is not a valid thing, by the way. You need to work to earn things in life. So I kind of had this moment of trying to figure out what was the issue and why am I hating it so much? And I've boiled it down to this. I chose the alternative path and tried to fit it into a traditional box. Meaning, I tried to treat this incredibly unstructured and unplanned life to get to a goal that has no linear progression other than what I do every day, and put it in the paradigm of a 9-to-5. Meaning, I treated this job as if it was my normal job, and that's not why I started this. And I thought if I treated it like a real job and I was serious and I showed up to work and I did all these little stupid nuanced things that you hear in every self-help guru video, that it would make my work better. And all it did was create the structure that I tried to escape. The biggest shift, the one thing that changed it all, which sounds like a clickbait, but it's true, is I fucked my calendar off. To be completely honest, why would I confine this very obscure lifestyle to a traditional calendar? The hours are different, The expectations are different. There is no end date to the work I'm doing. The moment I went and unstructured my calendar and put in the things that need to get done, so obviously meetings, me going to the gym, all of this stuff, put them in there. As long as that got done, all of a sudden that freedom that I was like trying to chase and find came back. I started loving what I was doing again, which is crazy. I was like gymming at random hours of the day and finding complete enjoyment of being able to take my time at something that I used to just utterly hate, because I guess a part of me was keen to get out of there, because I was like, you're on the clock, you've got time, you've got things to do. Now I gym whenever I want, as long as the work gets done. I see my friends and family whenever I want, as long as the work gets done. And I think that is the mindset that sometimes gets lost, because we are so focused on trying to treat this job so seriously because it's what pays our bills. But I think sometimes we forget the luxury of the sacrifice we make in this game, which is freedom. Freedom to do what we want when we want it. Cringy, probably, but I'd encourage you, if you do want to explore a resource, which is something I said I want to start doing every single month, is check out Start With Why by Simon Sinek. If you are a young entrepreneur, a young brand owner, anything in this game, you've been in it 10 years and you're struggling to find your why again, this is the book that changed my life. I read this book about 5 years ago, and it was probably one of the best reads ever. In fact, the company I worked for previously made everyone in the company read it. And I think that is not a bad thing to do. Because when someone's asking you, why are you doing this? And if it's money or time, that's not it. It's something deeper. I promise you that. So yeah, let's go on to the creative of the week, because it's Black Friday and I'm sure you guys would love to steal some of these. Alrighty, so Black Friday, obviously in a nutshell, you really just have to think everyone is buying your attention. Everyone has this little time frame during this November month period where they know the majority of the world's online sales are going to take place during that period of time, which is insane. The fact that we're all aware of it as well. But it also means that the more prepared you are, the better results you will get. And that doesn't mean you should be preparing a year away. I mean, you should maybe on the back end side of things, stock, all of that. But in terms of the creative themselves, I would really encourage you to think of ways that you can stand out. Ugly ads matter, ugly ads work, boisterous ads work, cut through the noise, shout out, call to your target audience more than ever. And finding fun ways to stand out is something me and my client Velocity Activewear have always done, and that can be seen with some of our creatives here. So we went down the route of announcing to the world, to their platform, that they are running their mini sale before Black Friday, which was 30% off for 30 minutes, which is a really great idea. I can't take credit for that. And this was the creative. We're down the route of a news anchor route to really kind of lean into the funny and over the top serious nature that these brands take this time of the year, because this is where some of them can make their entire month's revenue, sometimes their entire year's revenue in one day. So it's important to not think, is this ad pretty? Should I change this font? How about these colors? Blah, 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 blah. Just ask yourself this. Would you watch the ad? That simple. If you would not watch the own ad you were creating or find it entertaining or funny or worth sharing, don't even bother. This time is for creativity. Creativity will convert during this time. After this time, it becomes much more data informed. But during this time, the most creative, the most loud, the most strategically placed in your face ad is the one that wins. So have a think, is there a way you can connect with your audience in a way that is just so obscure, so loud, so funny that they can't help but remember it? So when that day does roll around and they need to use their little bank card, they're thinking of you. Ugh. All right, so look, that is the end of episode 8. And as always, I absolutely love it here. All of my socials are in the link down below. And look, if you want to help me hit that 10,000 sooner, that would be, that'd be much appreciated. And regardless, I'll be here next week. As moving forward, there'll be 2 videos a week. So please leave any comments, feedback. Let me know what you love. Let me know what you don't. And I'll see you all next week.